Welcome to the MSJC Internet Authoring Videocast.
In Module 9, you'll be learning about electronic commerce. In Session 9.1, you'll be learning to understand the basic components of e-commerce, identify the various forms of e-commerce, reinforce the concepts of searching, filtering, and sorting, explore e-commerce websites, consider consumer concerns associated with e-commerce, investigate international and legal concerns related to e-commerce, and examine several government e-commerce websites. In its simplest form, the term commerce refers to buying and selling of products or services. Electronic commerce, or e-commerce, refers to the buying and selling of these products and services using the Internet and the web. E-commerce can be grouped into different sectors or categories based on who is involved in this exchange of goods and services. Business-to-business, or B2B e-commerce, occurs when a business sells goods or services to other businesses or nonprofit organizations. This is the most common type of e-commerce, but not the type of e-commerce that you will focus on in this module. Business-to-consumer, or B2C e-commerce, occurs when a business sells goods or services to a consumer. For every one B2C e-commerce transaction, it's likely that there were many B2B transactions. For example, going online and buying a desktop computer. Now consider all of the likely B2B e-commerce transactions that might have taken place before this transaction occurred. The manufacturer of the computer system might have purchased the keyboard and the mouse from a third-party wholesaler, the operating system from a software manufacturer, the computer monitor from a different company, and the myriad of parts to build the computer itself from many suppliers across the globe. While not all of these transactions would necessarily be e-commerce transactions, increasingly we see business being conducted online whenever possible. So while the actual delivery of a computer monitor to the computer manufacturing facility is still done with a driver and a delivery truck, the transaction is paired with e-commerce components such as the online ordering of the monitors, online billing for the delivery of the equipment, and online payment of the invoice. You will explore several varieties of B2C retail websites in this module. Consumer-to-consumer, or C2C e-commerce, occurs when one consumer sells goods or services to another consumer. Instead of having an old-school yard sale, an individual with things to sell can go online to an increasing number of online marketplaces where other individuals sell and buy posted items. Familiar sites like Craigslist and eBay were early adopters of the C2C paradigm. More recent entries to the market, such as Etsy, offer somewhat enhanced features for sellers of certain kinds of items. Consumer-to-business, or C2B e-commerce, occurs when consumers offer goods or services to businesses. Typical services that an individual consumer might offer to a business would be his or her expertise as a writer, a graphic artist, computer programmer, or designer in a freelance scenario. Later in this module, you will explore Upwork.com, a C2B freelancing website. Mobile e-commerce, or m-commerce, is when e-commerce takes place on a mobile device. Another player in the e-commerce game is the government. In this module, you will also investigate some e-commerce opportunities involving governmental websites. All businesses, no matter where they are located and what they sell, try to generate revenues and pay the costs associated with generating those revenues. The revenue model is the process or processes that a company uses to find new customers, make sales, and deliver the goods or services that it sells. The most common revenue model is direct sales of products and services. The most common form of e-commerce is online retail, which refers to selling physical products on the web. The items are located, reviewed, and purchased on the web and then shipped to the buyer. In effect, this is an updated form of buying from mail order catalogs. Companies have been selling goods through mail order catalogs since the late 1800s. Probably the most notable of these is Sears. Originally, potential customers received catalogs in the mail, placed their orders by mail, and then received their items by mail. When the telephone became commonplace, these companies began accepting telephone orders. In the mail order catalog model, the seller creates a brand image that conveys quality and a specific price point, and then uses the strength of that image to sell through its printed catalogs. Retailers that have successfully used mail order catalogs include sellers of consumer goods, items such as clothes, computers, electronics, housewares, and gifts. Today's online retail is based on this time-tested mail order catalog model. In the online retail model, a company replaces or supplements its printed catalogs and/or brick-and-mortar store with a website. Customers can place orders through the website as well as by telephone, by mail, or in-store. In some stores, sales staff can place a web order for a customer, or customers can use the store's provided computer to access its website right in the store. Customers can typically order an item on the website and then pick it up at the retail location near them. Some companies make certain products available only online and do not offer them for sale in their retail locations, or vice versa. Companies such as Amazon.com sell almost exclusively on the web. Individuals who have specialty items to sell might choose to sell their items only on the web, knowing that they can reach a larger buying population. These web-only businesses are sometimes called .com companies. Adding a website to reach potential customers creates an additional sales channel, which is a way that a company supplies its products or services to customers. Companies that use both a physical store and the web to sell their products and services are sometimes referred to as bricks and clicks, combining bricks from the bricks and mortar of a traditional retail outlet and clicks from the action of selecting items on a web page. Brick and click companies abound, from national chain stores such as Target, Kohl's, Best Buy, and Costco, to pharmacies such as CVS and Walgreens, to computer manufacturers such as Microsoft and Apple, to banks and the U.S. Postal Service, to small independent businesses such as baby clothing boutiques and comic book sellers. In Module 4, you searched for, found, filtered, and sorted lots of information on the web. In this module on e-commerce, you will employ the same strategies to find e-commerce opportunities on the web. For many retail e-commerce websites, you can sign up for a free account. You create an account complete with login and password. Some e-commerce sites ask for security questions to provide multi-layered authentication, as well as your mailing address, shipping address, billing information, and perhaps other preferences depending on the site. It is not always required that you sign up for an account or sign in to your account if you have one, but it is usually easier to do so. When you establish an account with pertinent information about yourself, it can make things much easier and quicker on subsequent visits to the e-commerce site. If information on your account has been entered and saved in the database of the retailer, then when you log back in later, you do not need to input addresses, billing information, and so on. Here's an example of the Amazon login screen where you can sign in or sign up. This image shows the Amazon sign-up page for selling products on Amazon. Other businesses derive their revenue only from subscription fees. A subscription is an amount that users pay in order to access a site's content. The subscription charge might be payable on a recurring basis, such as monthly, or allow access during a specific time frame, such as a year. Entertainment sites that feature online games, music, movies, and books are often subscription-based. Netflix, one of the most popular subscription-only websites, offers movies and TV episodes that can be viewed on demand online as streaming video, as do Amazon, Hulu, and a host of other online companies. These fees range from monthly subscription fees for limited or unlimited access to pay-per-view, In order to stream video, you need an internet-connected device such as a gaming system, an HD TV, a smartphone, a tablet, or a streaming player. The image on the right shows the Netflix sign-up screen. Many gaming sites, such as Gamehouse and EA Games, and portal sites, such as MSN Games, represent another example of subscription-based sites. They offer free online games to attract visitors, as well as premium games that visitors must pay to play, either by buying or downloading the software to install on their computers, or by paying a subscription fee to enter the premium offerings on the site. Many subscription-based websites also generate revenue by displaying ads to their subscribers. Many subscription-based websites offer a free trial period so that you can preview the site before committing to a subscription. If you sign up for a free trial period with a subscription service and you decide that you do not wish to continue the service for a fee, be certain that you cancel your subscription before the free trial period ends to avoid being charged. Some businesses offer services for which they charge a fee. The fee can be based on the specific service provided, or it can be based on the number or size of transactions processed. Fees charged to consumers include brokerage fees, sales commissions, and the cost of information search and acquisition. A wide range of businesses on the web use this service fee revenue model, from professional services such as tax planning and legal advice to intermediaries such as stockbrokers. Professional service sites charge fees for their services. For example, users can prepare their tax returns online at the H&R Block and TurboTax sites. Legal Shield offers legal services on its website. Individual law and accounting firms also offer various professional services on the web. Another type of service sold on the web is intermediary services. An intermediary is a person or an organization that acts as a mediator or an agent between two parties to effect a transaction or an agreement. For example, when planning a vacation, you might use a travel agent to book your flight, reserve your hotel, and secure a rental car. In this case, the travel agent is the intermediary. Travel agents earn a commission on each airline ticket, hotel reservation, auto rental, cruise, or vacation package that they book. In most cases, the transportation or lodging provider pays these commissions to the travel agent. While travel agents are not as prevalent as they once were, online travel sites such as Expedia and Travelocity have largely taken over the role of the travel agent, and they earn commissions from transportation and lodging providers in the form of fees for each reservation made through their website. Stock brokerage firms also typically charge fees for transactions. Customers pay a commission to the brokerage for each trade executed. Online brokers such as E-Trade and TD Ameritrade are threatening traditional brokerage firms by offering trading over the web with lower fees and commissions. In addition, customers can manage their trading accounts anytime, though transactions are typically posted only when the market is open. Other companies that offer intermediary or brokering services for a fee on the web include event ticket agencies, mortgage lenders and brokers, banks, and insurance brokers. E-commerce has led to disintermediation in some markets, including the travel industry, automotive sales, and stock brokerages, such as the traditional travel agencies is no longer needed for the consumer to obtain the goods and services. Disintermediation is when an intermediary from an industry, such as a travel agency, is no longer needed for the consumer to obtain the goods and the services. In the case of travel agents, consumers began doing their own research and purchasing of airline tickets, hotels, and rental cars, often saving money in the process. In many cases, however, the original intermediary is replaced by a new liaison who then receives the commission for providing information and facilitating the purchase of the transaction. The introduction of a new intermediary into an industry is called re-intermediation. In the travel industry, the new intermediaries are the web-based travel agencies such as Travelocity, Expedia, Priceline.com, Hotels.com, and Orbitz that specialize in finding and making available the best travel resources for consumers. The automotive sales industry has also encountered disintermediation. Traditionally, auto dealers buy cars from the manufacturers and sell them to consumers. They provide showrooms and salespeople to help customers learn about product features, arrange financing, and make a purchase decision. Autobitle.com, Cars.com, and other online firms specialize in locating dealers in the buyer's area who are willing to sell cars for a small premium over the dealer's nominal cost. The buyer can purchase the car from the dealer without negotiating its price with a salesperson. Autobitle charges participating dealers a fee for this service. Autobitle is disintermediating the salesperson and re-intermediating itself. The consumer spends less time buying the car and often pays a lower price while avoiding the negotiation process. The dealer pays a lower fee to Autobitle than the commission it would otherwise pay to a salesperson. An auction is another example of an intermediary transaction. Auctions are an efficient way for businesses to clear out old and slow-moving inventory. In the past, companies would hire a liquidation broker to help dispose of unwanted inventory by holding an auction. A liquidation broker is an intermediary who matches sellers of obsolete inventory with purchasers who are looking for bargains. Liquidation brokers and companies that were large enough to arrange their own liquidation sales often found it expensive to set up a physical auction for obsolete inventory. The greatest expenses were leasing a place to hold the auction and mailing notices of the auction to a sufficient number of people to create a decent-sized bidding pool. It was also difficult to accumulate a wide enough variety of items to attract bidders. Bidders who were interested in only one or two items would be reluctant to attend the auction. As a result, inventory sold this way seldom returned more than 10% of its cost. Today, many liquidation brokers are opening web auctions to obtain a better range of bids. An auction on a website can attract bidders from all over the world, and these bidders can select the specific items on which they want to bid. Most online auction sites offer merchandise that is the property of others, much as an auctioneer would at a public auction. The items being auctioned might be surplus inventory, refurbished items, returns, discontinued items, packaging changes, and so forth. Each online auction site establishes its own bidding rules. Auctions can remain open for a few days or a week. Some sites provide webcasts so that bidders can attend the live auction via computer. Other sites provide automated software agents that bidders can instruct to place bids as needed to win the auction, subject to a maximum limit set by the bidder. Because bidders face a significant risk of buying a misrepresented product in a sight-unseen online auction, several auction sites offer mediation or escrow services that hold the buyer's payment until he or she is satisfied that the item matches the seller's description. Escrow service fees range from 1% to 10% of the item's cost and usually include a small minimum fee. The advantages of conducting online auctions include a large pool of potential bidders, 24-hour access, and the ability to auction hundreds of similar items simultaneously. The federal government generates a great deal of surplus that it often gets rid of by auctioning items at gsaauctions.gov. Here, you can browse by category to filter results and then sort by a number of different fields. Some companies are too small to operate their own liquidation sites or to attract the interest of brokers. These companies have found eBay and similar consumer-oriented auction sites to be useful tools for selling their excess inventory and used equipment. One of the first auction websites, eBay, has become the premier choice of many people who want to participate in online auctions. Both buyers and sellers benefit from the large marketplace that eBay has created. Sellers and buyers must register with eBay and agree to the site's basic terms of doing business. Sellers pay a listing fee and a percentage of the final selling price. Buyers pay nothing to eBay. In addition to the basic fees, sellers can choose from a variety of enhanced and extra cost services, including having their auctions listed in bold type or being added as a featured auction that will appear at the top of a bidder's search results page. In an attempt to address bidders' concerns about seller reliability, eBay identifies sellers who have received high ratings from buyers for excellent customer service with an eBay top-rated seal. Also, if a buyer doesn't receive the item purchased or believes that the received item is different from what was described in the listing, eBay's buyer protection helps the buyers and sellers resolve the dispute. Online auctions are an example of C2C e-commerce because one person auctions off an item to another person. They can also be considered B2C, even if the seller is not operating as a formal business. Another way in which services can be offered online can occur with C2B e-commerce. As was mentioned at the start of this module, this category of e-commerce is when individual customers can find a way to market their product or services to business. Typically, the marketing of products on a scale large enough to be considered a source for business would be done by another business, not an individual. So the C2B category tends to have more of a service orientation than a product presentation. One example of individuals offering services to business is the website Upwork.com, where freelancers can offer their expertise as writers, designers, coders, graphic artists, or a number of other professions in other fields. And business can find quick help to solve a problem or fill a need. After selecting a product or service online, consumers need to pay for it. Although most e-commerce sites accept credit card payments, other forms of payment that are processed in real time are available as well, including online payment services and digital wallets. Consumers can use a digital wallet to pay for their e-commerce purchases. A digital wallet, also called an electronic wallet or e-wallet, is an electronic device with software, or software that runs on a computer or a phone, that enables the user to make a purchase online. The digital wallet stores a user's payment information such as bank account and credit card numbers, a digital certificate to identify the user, and information that the user provides such as shipping information to speed up the internet transactions. The consumer's information is encrypted to protect against identity theft and other forms of online piracy. During checkout at an e-commerce site, the digital wallet can automatically enter the user's information in the online form after the user enters a password or other authentication. These online payment services provide consumers with a way to make online purchases easily and securely. E-commerce sites process transactions through an online payment gateway, which connects to their credit card processing account and enable automated, secure online transactions to occur. Originally, digital wallets were stored only on the user's computer. More often, mobile phones and other wireless devices are now used as digital wallets and stored on a server owned by a digital wallet vendor or an ISP. Examples of digital wallets include PayPal, Google Wallet, and Apple Pay. A digital wallet vendor can charge commission to a retailer on every purchase made with its wallet, or the merchant can pay a flat fee to the digital wallet vendor to use its wallets in transactions. Both the business and the consumer must use compatible digital wallets in order for the payment to be accepted. This is similar to how merchants choose which credit cards to accept for payment. For example, you cannot use an American Express card at a retailer that accepts only Visa and MasterCard. Digital wallet transactions can occur online via a computer as well as in stores via a smartphone or other mobile device. Near-field communication is a standards-based, short-range wireless technology that allows electronic devices to interact over a couple of inches. NFC-enabled smartphones include chips that can store all the information from a physical bank, credit cards, and identification cards, and then transmit the payment or ID data wirelessly over a short distance when the phone is close to a compatible receiver. Although many companies accept PayPal to complete transactions, most companies also accept credit cards for payments. The value-to-weight ratio is the price of the item divided by its weight. Large, heavy products that have a low price are difficult to sell online because the shipping costs exceed the profit of the item. Items that are small, light, and relatively expensive can be shipped at a low cost and then often generate enough profit to cover even next-day shipping costs. E-commerce leads to two major concerns: transaction security and privacy. Potential customers of any business worry about the same issues. However, the virtual nature of an e-commerce site increases these concerns. Consumers often do not know who is operating a website from which they want to make a purchase. They might wonder whether the firm is a real company that will deliver the merchandise as ordered. Or they might want to know if the company will replace defective merchandise or refund the purchase price within a reasonable period. Online customers also want assurance that the payments they make for goods purchased over the internet are secure. Potential customers are concerned about the security of their credit card numbers as those numbers travel over the internet. Many potential customers of web-based businesses are also concerned about their privacy. Websites can collect a great deal of information about customers' preferences even before they place an order. By recording a user's click stream, a record of the links clicked by the user while visiting a website, the web server can gather extensive knowledge about that visitor and use it for marketing purposes or share it with other companies without the customer's knowledge. For example, many websites use clickstream information to display different banner ads to different visitors. Sites regularly use cookies to store personal information about visitors. Cookies can speed up the login process for a returning visitor, but they also enable the site to provide targeted ads based on the personal information provided. A greater concern for many consumers is how e-commerce websites store their personal information. Many sites offer customers the option to store their credit card numbers so that the customer does not have to type in the card number every time that they visit the site to buy something. Of course, the computer that stores these card numbers are connected directly or indirectly to the internet. Any computer that is connected to the internet is subject to attack from persons outside the company. There have been a number of widely reported cases in which an intruder has broken into an e-commerce site's computer and stolen names, addresses, and credit card information. Sometimes these individuals have even posted the stolen credit card information on the internet or the dark web. Because online businesses want to attract customers, it is in their best interest to ensure both transaction security and buyer privacy on their sites. This means ensuring that the transactions conducted on their sites are secure. Legitimate e-commerce websites use the SSL protocol to protect sensitive information as it travels over the internet to and from their sites. Recall from Module 6 that the SSL security protocol encrypts information flowing between a web server and a web client. When a website is using SSL, the site's URL in the location or address bar begins with HTTPS instead of HTTP, and is highlighted in some web browsers in green or appears next to a padlock icon. You can click the green bar or the padlock icon to open a window with more information about the site's security certification. Several assurance providers offer various kinds of certifications for website transaction security and privacy policies. An assurance provider is a third party that, for a fee paid by the e-commerce website, will certify that the site meets some criteria for conducting business in a secure and privacy-preserving manner. Websites can purchase these certifications and display the logo or seal of the assurance provider on the website for potential customers to examine before making any purchases. Most of these logos are hyperlinks to the assurance provider's site, at which customers can find more information about the nature of the specific assurances given by that provider. A few of the main assurance providers are the Better Business Bureau, TrustE, Symantec, and WebTrust. No general standards currently exist in the United States for maintaining confidentiality regarding clickstream information or general identifying information about website visitors and customers. However, two laws that are related to privacy concerns are the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act of 1998, often referred to as COPPA, does make it illegal for websites to collect identifiable information from children under the age of 13 without first obtaining their parents' consent. Many businesses' websites include statements of privacy policy directed at concerned customers, but no U.S. law exists requiring such statements or policies. The Electronic Communication Privacy Act, eCPA, of 1986 was enacted before most people were using the Internet. It does not include rules specifically designed to protect the privacy of persons using websites to conduct transactions. Many people and organizations believe the eCPA needs to be updated to reflect advances in technology. There is much to be done for laws to catch up with technology. The Internet brings people together from every country in the world. E-commerce has an unprecedented geographic reach. When using a website to purchase products, subscriptions, or services, customers might be doing business with companies located anywhere around the globe. For example, customers in the United States might be doing business with a company in India and vice versa. This international reach introduces special challenges for e-commerce. When visiting a website that originates in another country, you might see icons, phrasing, and colors that are different from what you have usually seen on other sites. This is because cultural conventions differ from country to country. Consider some examples. In the United States, people use a hand signal, the index finger touching the thumb, to create a circle that indicates OK. But in countries such as Brazil, this hand signal is an obscene gesture. In India, using the image of a cow in a cartoon or other comical setting is inappropriate. Customers in Muslim countries could be offended by an image that shows humans' arms or legs uncovered. Even colors or web page design elements can be troublesome. For example, the color white denotes purity in Europe and the Americas, but is associated with death and mourning in many Asian countries. A web page that is divided into 4 segments could be offensive to a Japanese visitor because the number 4 is a symbol of death in that culture. Also, although the predominant language on the web is English, sites in other languages and in multiple languages are becoming more common. To address the language issue, many companies hire a translation firm to translate their existing web pages into other languages. Human translators can make adjustments for local versions of a language and can help ensure that the website is translated in a way that does not violate local customs. Translation that takes into account the culture and customs of the country is called localization. Once a business overcomes the language barrier, it can conduct e-commerce with any other business or consumer anywhere in the world. Well-designed websites are accessible and effective for users no matter what country they're located in and what language they speak. To accomplish this, companies that have a large global presence often have each visitor specify his or her country of origin or language so that the next web pages that appear reflect that customer's geographic location and culture. Other companies create specific websites for each country in which they do business. For example, Expedia has different sites for the United States at expedia.com, China at expedia.cn, Brazil at expedia.com.br, and the United Kingdom at expedia.co.uk. Businesses that conduct e-commerce have the opportunity to participate in international commerce. Currency conversions, tariffs, import and export restrictions, local business customs, and the laws of each country in which a trading partner resides can make international electronic commerce difficult. Many of the international issues that arise relate to legal, tax, and privacy concerns. Each country has the right to pass laws and levy taxes on businesses that operate within their jurisdictions. Countries that are members of the European Community, or EC, for example, have adopted very strict laws that limit the collection and use of personal information that companies gather in the course of doing business with consumers. U.S. companies that do business in the EC must comply with these laws, which are more restrictive than the laws in the United States. Within the United States, individual states and counties have the power to levy sales tax and use tax on goods and services. In other countries, national sales and value-added taxes are imposed on an even more comprehensive list of business activities. Complying with all of these laws and regulations can be difficult for small businesses that want to operate e-commerce websites. Therefore, many smaller sites restrict the countries to which they will deliver merchandise or in which they will provide services. These websites can place terms of service statements on their sites to protect themselves from laws and regulations of which they might be unaware. A Terms of Service or TOS statement can include rules for site visitors and a statement of copyright interest in the site design and content, and it can restrict the types of business that a visitor can conduct with the website. A TOS can include rules for site visitors and a statement of copyright interest in the site design and content. Restrict the types of business that a visitor can conduct with the site. Most sites place their terms of service statements on a separate web page and provide a link to it from the site's homepage. These links are typically titled Terms of Service, Terms of Use, Condition of Use, User Agreement, or something similar. This image shows the Terms of Use statement for Cengage Learning, the publisher of your textbook. There are also many e-commerce situations in which individual consumers and businesses interact with government entities, such as when individuals make a financial payment to the IRS to satisfy a tax burden. By accessing the IRS or irs.gov website and clicking on the Pay Your Tax Bill button. Property owners paying state property taxes online. Individuals pay speeding citations to a local municipality online. An individual or business responds to a request for proposal related to a government project. The federal government uses many private companies to get work done, usually by offering requests for proposals that companies can respond to. Such federal opportunities can be investigated at the Federal Business Opportunity website located at fbo.gov. That concludes this lecture. Until next time, may all of your e-commerce encounters be safe and satisfying. If you liked this video, please click the like button and leave us a comment down below. I also would appreciate it if you would subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, click the notification bell so that you'll be notified when new videos are posted.